After seeing the trailer for the new Warner Brothers movie Orphan, you may be left with the impression that foster children are damaged goods,
poised to do harm to anyone that might try to love them.
As former foster youth, we feel compelled to correct the record.
True. Each of us came into care because our parents were unwilling or unable to parent.
Yes, many of us experience emotional and physical abuse,
disappointment,
betrayal,
hunger,
and homelessness growing up.
But there is a big difference between a bad person and a person who's had bad things happen to them.
For a brief couple years, I was
mother passed away when I was
10
years old.
And when I was 11 years old, my mom kind of kicked me out the house. I was
kids,
sleeping in the parks and whatnot.
You're trouble and you're never going to be anything and you're never going to become anything, because a lot of foster kids don't. I was 12 years old and a chain of police cars came down the road at the trailer park, and then I realized that all of these police cars were coming to get me.
My mother passed away when I was 10 years old. For a brief couple years, I was shuffled around between relatives' homes before getting shuffled around into foster homes.
And when I was 11 years old, my mom kind of kicked me out the house, and I was sleeping in the parks and whatnot.
One of my birthdays that my mother got arrested the night before, and I had to use my birthday money to bail her out.
I was always sad, depressed, and angry because I didn't know what was going on at the time. When two caseworkers picked me up from school one day.
My bio mom had went missing for a couple of weeks, and her boyfriend had stopped by the house, and he had this pistol and pointed at my head and said, "If you don't tell me where your mother is, I'm going to kill you."
I got up there, and my caseworker and then somebody else who I didn't know was sitting on the couch, and they had a couple of my bags, and they said, "Shauna, just go put some stuff in this bag." I had my teddy bear, and I remember trying to lug these two huge bags, and as I was walking out I tripped and the teddy bear dropped, and they were in such a hurry to get me out of there that they just slung my bags over their shoulder and dragged me to the car, and my teddy bear was just kind of left there.
Too many tears as I hit the floor. The echoes of future fears are real. Yes, we know they're real.
My lawyer, Tara McDaniel, and my independent living worker, Miss Doris May, she was always there when I needed her.
And it wasn't until a DARE instructor stepped in and finally kind of helped us out of that situation.
This family that I moved in with, I had actually met this woman who was my mother, became my foster mother about 2 years before, because she had been my first grade teacher. And during that time, I was in her class, first grade. I was returned home, and I didn't know until many years later that she and her husband actually went through foster parenting classes to take me in.
I became closer to this woman that runs the Youth Leadership Advisory Team in Maine. That was one, form of support that I had, was being a part of the Youth Leadership Advisory Team.
I had a really great dance teacher. I had a banker. I had a social worker. I had lots of people who actually just showed that they cared.
I have recently graduated from the University of Massachusetts with a bachelor's degree in psychology and criminal justice, interning on the lovely Capitol Hill.
I'm in Washington, D.C. on an internship with CCAI and working with some good people.
I am working in a congressman's office, and I'm actually working on a lot of healthcare stuff pertaining specifically to youth and foster care. So,
I am currently trying to finish up college after 3 years. It's amazing to think that I'm a senior. I have a couple of jobs where I work with different social service agencies.
I'm in college, majoring in criminal justice, investigative services, and I plan to get my master's in forensic science.
It scares me to think that people will go see the movie Orphan and think that this is a portrayal of real foster youth and adopted youth.
My life is real.
My life is real.
My life, it's real.
Our lives are real.